All righty then, and welcome everyone to the much anticipated, can't be long overdue because it is a one shot, but we are here to run a one shot adventure by none other than Ben, aka Umbral Dagger, who I think you've done the most one shot requests of anyone. And I will fully admit, for those of you that are trying to save up some channel points, it's his fault that the price doubled. It is his fault. It's okay. It's totally fine. We're not even mad about it. But of course, I am DerWolf, and joining me today are five really awesome friends. You will probably recognize most of their faces. We do have a new friend here today who's new to the server, but I'm excited to have him. But we're going to go around the table, have everyone quickly introduce themselves, tell us who they are going to be playing, and then they're also going to tell us like what species they are, because that's always interesting. This will be a theater of the mind game. But without further ado, let's go around the table. We're going to go Hobbit, Zachary, Ben, Matthew, Eustace. Hobbit, take it away.
Hi, I'm Hobbit. I'll be playing Healer, which stands for Humanoid Entity for Analyzing, Learning, and Emergency Remedies. I am a Sung type android, just like Data, and I'll be doing medicine.
Zachary.
All right. Hi, I'm Zach. I don't really have anything on the internet that I go by. I'm going to be playing Cadet Reno. She is a hologram, or they. They are the second generation to the Voyager CM-EMH. And yeah, they're mostly focusing on science, medicine, and engineering, like all rounded sort of thing.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Benjamin.
I'm Ben, Discord, and a couple other places. I'm Umbral Dagger, just Umbral. I will be playing Koloth Regis, a fourth-year cadet in the command track.
Very nice. And you are Klingon? Half Klingon?
Half Klingon.
Half Klingon. Very well. Very well. Matthew.
Hello everyone, I'm Matthew. I am playing Cadet Varick Glenn, who is a human, somewhat listless in his sort of pursuit of Starfleet membership, and doing it just for the memory of his sister.
You are muted, as is tradition.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. Can't even hear you. I'm just kidding. You're fine. Go ahead. Bam, got him.
Okay, hi, I'm Eustace, and I will be playing Arob, and he is an Andorian, and I'm going to be in the engineering track at Stardate Academy.
Very good, very good. And quick little aside about Eustace. Eustace was in my original Star Trek Adventures game that I ran like 3 years ago at this point. It was a while ago, right? Yeah.
About that.
It's like the heart of the pandemic when it first started, and we did 30 sessions, I think. That was the original Star Trek Valhalla, which my Star Trek Valhalla series was loosely based off of. But don't tell the Star Trek Valhalla people yours was much cooler. There you go, because it had A-Rob. There it is. We love to see it. But of course, I am DerWolf, and I will be playing everyone else, because that's what a game master does. So it's going to be a lot of fun. But without further ado, our session revolves around a group of fourth-year cadets who are preparing for graduation day. And this day itself is actually graduation day. Now, part of the sort of pop and circumstance, the rigmarole, as it were, of graduation day, these cadets are sent in a Type 2 shuttle. They're sent to the moon, Earth's moon, to rescue one of their commanding officers. This is a kind of symbolic gesture to say you've graduated, you've gotten your PIP, and you are ready to head out and get your first assignment and make something of yourself out there in the wild unknown that is the universe, to boldly go, as it were. So we have our first scene here is an opening log. It is a personal log from their instructor that has been their instructor pretty much the entire time, their sort of go-to guy. This is Commander Jim Harper is his name. Commander Jim Harper's Commander Jim Harper's log, Stardate 41285.4. To say this is the most unique class of cadets I've ever had the pleasure of teaching would be, well, not entirely honest, but they do rank in the top 5. Among them, a hologram, an android, a Klingon, one human, and an Andorian, who has such a knack for unusual engineering that I fear he may be either the death or savior of some crew in his future. It is graduation day, and as is tradition, despite what Lieutenant Commander Varick would say is illogical, I am sending the cadets on a rescue mission to rescue Lieutenant Varick from the dark side of the moon after a biological incident on the moon base there. It should be a quick trip there and back, just a little pop in circumstance to get the cadets excited before receiving their first ship assignments. I look forward to shaking each and every one of their hands as they walk across the stage. And log. And so we open our first scene with the cadets. You are aboard the shuttle. We see each and every one of you at your respective stations, and you are just a few minutes away from sort of circling around the kind of gray and white surface of the moon. You're kind of coming into that dark sort of area, and you can see just sort of peeking over the horizon, sort of the crest of the moon as you kind of round around. You can just barely make out the flashing lights of the base that exists on that dark side. And I'd like to go character to character. Who is currently at the helm of the ship? Who is currently piloting? No one. You're going to crash.
I have a con of 4, so that would probably be me.
Marek. So we see Marek at the helm. Your hands on the console, pushing the buttons and whatnot. Take a moment just to describe what he looks like for myself and everyone else that is here.
So Marek is a slightly swarthy man of seemingly, I guess, Indian descent. He is stands at about 6 feet tall when he is actually out of the chair. He has a rather thick beard, and he's prematurely going gray, although he has a few creases around his eyes, some crow's feet that suggest he might be slightly older than some of you, and he's aged. He's markedly, visibly older than he actually is in terms of his age. He is not actually controlling the shuttle. He set it to autopilot, and he's kicked back slightly, reading a pad, and almost has his feet kicked up on the stoop of the chair beside of him.
Brilliant. To his right, who would be maintaining sensors at this point?
Cadet Reno.
Cadet Reno. Take a moment, Reno. Describe yourself.
Cadet Reno is a outwardly facing human female with short blonde hair with that kind of a flop over one side. Very sometimes neutral but very happy demeanor, and she's just boop 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 boop. Marek, why are we on a autopilot course? We're supposed to be doing this manually.
And he sort of looks up from the pad. What? Was that part of the orders?
Was it not?
I mean, the autopilot's it's just going around the dark side of the moon. It's like, why would I bother piloting it?
At the discussion that is taking place, where would Koloth situate themselves? Tactical, I assume?
I
I
would probably say he'd probably I would probably say he'd be in tactical, with an eye on the big chair.
Yeah. I like that.
And he's just kind of like hoping for a moment to really prove himself, but at the same time he's just like, I want this to go smooth.
What a better moment to prove yourself, Koloth, than to instruct two of your maybe borderline insubordinate. One of them doesn't remember what the orders were, and the other one is not taking this seriously. You recall that your commanding officer, your professor, had mentioned that you should do everything yourself. Don't rely on the computers, because out there in the void of space, the only thing you can rely on is yourself, not everything else around you. Things break. People, they're harder to break. That's what he said. How would Koloth respond to that question?
Glenn, Reno, our orders were to do things as hands-on as possible. Please try to take this seriously, because as much as I'm pretty sure most of us can recall the lessons of the Kobayashi Maru, things could go south just as a test, even on our final day.
Merrick sits down the pad and straightens himself up slightly in his chair, but he does cast you a kind of quizzical glance. You're really uptight about this, you know? You got to take some time for yourself. Relax.
I'll relax when I'm walking across the stage.
Brilliant. And at the mention of walking across the stage, we see an Andorian, and I know exactly where you'd be. You'd be in engineering, because that's what you are. You're in engineering. And I'd like you to take a moment, Eustace, to describe your character to us. What does A-Rob look like?
A-Rob is an Andorian in his, as a cadet normally is, early 20s. And he is bald, which is not very common for Andorians, and he's bald by choice, because when he was because he, with his engineering work, his hair got singed quite a bit, so he was at some point just thought to himself, screw it. And yeah, he's also a bit more pale than your normal Andorian, which can be attributed to him living mostly on starships and star bases.
I believe someone had just mentioned, what could go wrong, as it were. And A-Rob, as you are at engineering, you notice that there is a sudden shift. And there is an issue with the harmonic induction inverter, and power is starting to drop. It almost seems as soon as Merrick kind of sat up straight, took control of the helm, the course adjusted slightly, you're maybe 2 minutes just outside of the base. You can see the lights in the distance sort of flickering ever so gently. It's kind of a natural sort of pulse, just like you see the lights on electrical, wires and windmills and what have you, the big turbines. But you notice that there is a power drain, and the inertial dampeners start to kind of rattle a little bit, and the whole ship starts to shake, and everyone has to kind of steady themselves for a moment. A-Rob, I'd like you to make the first roll of the game. I'd like you to do and it's going to be an engineering roll. I'd like you to do a insight engineering, a difficulty of 2, if you would be so kind.
I have power systems as a focus?
Absolutely,
so I would have
100%. Yep.
So inside engineering. Okay. Inside.
All right. Interesting. This is new A-Rob. We will say that this is new A-Rob. So he's not as competent as he was in Star Trek Valhalla. But A-Rob, you cannot determine the source of this sudden and relatively exponential power drain. You see the ship's batteries, you see the ship's drive is going from 95, 94, 93, 92, 91, 90, 80, 70. And the ship itself is shaking even more. Meanwhile, manning the comms, we see, well, I would like Hobbit to take a moment to describe your character, as you're about to get a very distressing message from the moon base.
That's my favorite kind of message. So Healer is this androgynous, human-presenting being. They are rather small and almost feminine in stature, as that's more of a traditionally gentle body type, and they're designed with the sole purpose of being a medical professional, so it's bedside manner adjacent, I guess. I don't know. And for the last hour, they have been staring at their screen dutifully, awaiting any sorts of communication while studying and researching all prior incidents that have ever occurred on the moon in recorded history, as they are an incredibly cautious sort of android.
Love that. So two things happen here. You are in the process of analyzing some of what has happened on the moon. And interestingly enough, there have only been, in recent history, so let's say the last 100 or so years, there have been two incidences. One of them, there was a infestation of tribbles that happened, and it was maddeningly difficult to get rid of them. The second one was there was a small disease outbreak that happened when a Romulan spy released a virus inside of the compound. And interesting enough, the Romulans hadn't done enough research to realize the virus wouldn't be deadly per se. It was a bit intoxicating, and everyone was very drunk for a few days. But it was very quickly overdone. But nothing else. It's actually been pretty chill. They do a little research here. There's also a place where folks from Earth can come to relax on the moon base. There's a spa. It's actually very nice. It's actually a very relaxing place. However, you get a message. It's priority 1. There's an alert. And it is from Lieutenant Varick, the Vulcan lieutenant commander that you are supposed to be rescuing from the moon base. Again, very symbolic. But the message, audio only, comes in. This is Lieutenant Varick. There has been an outbreak aboard. To all ships in the area, abort, abort. Do not come until we can contain the virus. Again, this is Lieutenant Varick. Abort, abort all missions. As this happens, the ship once again shakes. And at the helm, Marek, you feel like the ship is not responding to your controls. Almost as though you've been caught in some sort of beam or gravitational well. And as all of you look out the front of the view screen, you see that the lights of the base, they are pulsing quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker, and now they're sort of flashing like a strobe. And the very space around the base seems to be becoming somewhat wibbly-wobbly and translucent, and is sort of appearing and disappearing like my shoulders. Ooh, like that is exactly what's happening. So I'm curious, how do we respond to this? Merrick, you go first. What do you do?
I think Merrick would actually just report that. Koloth, I've lost control of the ship. I have minor maneuvering thrusters. That's it. Something's bringing us down.
Let's see. I would have to say Koloth would be he would immediately go to the console in front of him and attempt to see if he can understand what might be pulling the ship.
Phenomenal question. This is going to be a check, and I'm going to pull up one of my other character sheets, and I'm going to tell you that you are going to be rolling a insight security difficulty of 2.
So
Since
at the same time, I would like the science officer aboard the ship to roll me an insight science difficulty of 2. And Eustace, you had a question.
Yeah, since I've been trying to, since most likely whatever's pulling us and the source of the energy drain could be related, can I try to assist?
Who would you like to assist? Tactical or science? Which do you think it is?
I'm gonna go with tactical.
All right, fair enough. He's going with tactical. Interesting. All right, so you may roll a reason engineering. You are looking for 1 success. All right, your difficulty just roll a success. If you get a success, then you give them a success, right?
And only 1d20.
1d20, yeah, because you're assisting. And then Ben and Zachary, go ahead and roll your checks as well.
Okay. I have focuses physics. Would that help at all? Or?
Absolutely, it would.
Okay.
100%. Now we're cooking.
As a sorry, go ahead.
No, you go. You continue. Sorry.
All right. As a minor action, can I connect with the ship using my neural interface?
Yes.
Awesome.
Okay. Can I use either composure or team dynamics to kind of be like I'm working with science, like we're spouting out things as we're learning them?
I'll allow it.
Okay.
Can I also use the focus composure that I have?
God damn it, yes.
Oh boy.
Oh no, hey Rob, no.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, so that was you asked for a insight or
Yours was insight science. Mine was
Insight
insight
science.
security.
okay. Would my neural interface give me a bonus here or
So we'll get to that.
okay?
We'll get to that. Just roll the
Alright.
check. 2d20.
Insight science 2d20. Okay. Applicable focus. Yes. It's been a minute.
Oof.
Fantastic. I love to see it.
Oh,
All right. Cloth. Good news, bad news. You've gained the crew 1 momentum, which is fantastic. Whoever wants to handle the momentum may take that momentum. Good news, bad news. Which do you want first?
I'll take the bad news first.
All right. The bad news is you have no idea what is pulling you down. It's not tactical. It's not a weapon. It's not a tractor beam. Nothing like that. Good news is you got the crew momentum, which is great. So that's the good news. So you have no idea what's going on. Other thing, Zachary, you interfaced with the ship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Soon as you interface with the ship, you start to hear some kind of transmission. It appears that when you integrated with the ship, your neural interface connected with the ship's comms, and you start to hear a transmission. However, because you're hearing it inside your mind, the universal translator, for whatever reason, is not working right now, and you're just hearing this weird, crazy gibberish right now. It's just it's just crazy gibberish right now. And as that happens, you start to feel really woozy, and your brain starts to get a little wibbly wobbly and mushy, and you collapse at your console. All right, and that is the complication. You collapse at your console. Healer, one of your fellow crew members has just collapsed at his console and is having a seizure. What would you like to do about that?
I would like to very calmly and procedurally approach him and do my thing. On the way to...
Might I remind you guys I'm a hologram?
Yeah. Like that's the best part.
That's why it's funny.
Okay.
You're having a hologram seizure.
Quick, do the rest of us know that you're a hologram and an android, respectively?
Yeah, you know I'm a hologram.
Yeah.
Okay, then A-Rob would also make his way towards it because most likely in engineering could be quite useful.
Sure. So as I'm approaching Rena, who's seizing up on the floor, I will address Koloth and I will say, Koloth, listening to the transmission from Lieutenant Commander Varick, his voice seemed slightly more frantic than usual, albeit extremely stoic nonetheless. I do not believe that this transmission was part of our intended mission today. I also do not believe that we have much of a choice about turning into another direction.
No, something has our ship, and it is not technological in origin at the very least.
Not technological in origin. I'm not certain what it could be.
When he asks when you don't know what it is, I walk past them. Space being weird.
I will actually turn to Glenn and I'll just be like, Glenn, see if you can send a quick message out to the Academy and see if or at least alert them of the unusual natures that are occurring. That way we have some kind of backup if things go even worse.
I mean, I'm kind of busy maneuvering the ship using just the thrusters.
Yeah.
Power losses and the
Why
like.
don't you give me a daring con right now? Difficulty of 3.
Well, I was gonna present an alternative.
You shouldn't have mentioned that.
Let's get into it. Don't worry about it. We'll get to Hobbit here in a second. I just want to see what Hobbit had to say. What was your alternative?
My
Still just
alternative was
seizing on the
I
floor.
was going to say that it would be more logical for Rob to assist Reno and for me to return to the comm station where I was.
Okay.
I like
Which
it.
Keeps
ahead.
us from having to split responsibilities. So
I like it. I
Mhm.
like it.
Hey Rob, would you attend to Cadet Reno while I send this message?
I mean, sure.
I'm already walking away.
Excellent. Great.
Love it.
You
Love
guys
it.
are just having this full-on conversation while like
All right. Mark, why don't you make that check? Daring.
Yeah, I'm just
con.
waiting for things to clear up.
No, you're good.
So I'm using the one momentum, if that's all right with everyone.
Beautiful.
Mhm.
And racing craft, considering his experience with piloting.
I like it.
can we have 2?
I like it. You could give me 2 threat to get to.
Oh.
Delicious, delicious threat.
No, that's it. I think I'll just try to roll the 3.
Yum, 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 yum.
The other reason I ask is there's a 2 on the momentum.
All right.
So I see none, but
All right.
we have to refresh.
So here's where we're at. Merrick, you are doing your damnedest on just maneuvering thrusters to try and keep the ship steady. But as it gets more and more intense, more and more, well, shaky, as it were, it's more turbulence. You feel the ship starting to spin, and you're watching as you see the lights flashing, this strobe light, this like strobe-like thing. It's just like strobing, just like that. It's just like strobing more and more. You're not sure how many lights you see. There could be 5, maybe there's 3, maybe there's 4. We don't know, but it's continuing to strobe more and more and more. And as the ship starts to spin, Healer is over at the comms, and I'm going to have you attempt to send out a communication. So my friend, I'm going to have you do a control, and would communication be con? Often do communication checks. Is it con?
I think so,
I think
but
it would be under con.
usually
con,
it's
right?
covered by security.
Yeah. Do a control security then. Which is better, con or security for you?
Con by a
Con?
long
No, do
shot.
con. Well, then do con then. We'll do con. All right. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Difficulty on this is going to be normally a 2 because of the turbulence and the weird atmospheric crap going on. But because I got all this threat, I'm going to spend 3 of it to make that a difficulty 4.
There's my roll. 1 success.
How do you have one
You
success?
were supposed to roll 2d20 at all. You always roll 2d20 minimum.
Got you.
So just roll
so
1
that
more.
was control
Yeah, I'll let you re-roll the whole check. I'm a benevolent GM.
2d20.
Yeah.
No focuses.
All
There
right.
you go.
So good news, bad news. The good news is that you are an android and you're pretty cool and you can heal people. Bad news is that static. Nothing is going in, nothing is going out. But the thing that you realize is that there appears to be some sort of dome, some sort of gravimetric kind of sphere that is existing around the base, and it is creating this kind of pinpoint gravitational like kind of vortex that is pulling everything in. Now, the one thing that you guys start to realize is that you yourselves don't feel pulled, but the metal and the like sort of electrical instruments of the ship are starting to kind of bow and bend, almost as though it's like a magnetic kind of field. We're going to go back to A-Rob that's going to try to help Reno. I'm going to give you a difficulty 0 check. This is going to be a control engineering just to try to like fix his programming, because I want to give you guys some momentum because I'm afraid you're all going to die. So I'm going to give you a difficulty 0 check here, A-Rob. You can fix him. You've probably done this before.
Yeah.
I just
I
want to say
don't-
momentum is not showing up for me, so I was going to keep track of it, but it's not
Well,
appearing on Roll20, so somebody else is going to have to do that.
To my count, we have 0.
That's
Yeah, we do.
weird. Why is it not?
I have 2.
Yeah. Oh, then now it's gone. Okay.
Yeah, now it's gone.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me deal this off to. You know what? You're in charge of momentum, TNX. You have 2 now. Boom. Can you see it?
Yeah, and I
Okay.
just 2 successes. I get 2. Yeah.
All right. Brilliant. You get 2 momentum back, and you're able to quickly, with his mobile holographic projector, his little mobile device, you're able to
Mobile
quickly
emitter.
fix him. Mobile emitter. That's the word. I said it. You can't prove that I didn't. But his mobile emitter. You watch as he stops seizing, and Reno, as you were seizing, you were seeing these kind of visions in your holographic brain, as it were. You were seeing flashes of the base, and you were seeing almost as though you had somehow connected with the security cameras and the security system on the base. You were seeing people slumped over couches, slumped over desks. They were covered in these strange boils, and everyone just seemed as though they were either half dead or dying. And I don't know if you get spooked easily because you're a hologram. Holograms can still feel. They do have rights. We have established that.
Mhm.
But as you
I
come
have
to,
limited
Reno,
rights.
how do you respond to this? What's the battle plan
Please state the nature of your emergency. What? Huh? What?
We're all about to
I-
die.
I look around.
Oh,
Choose your poison.
the moon base. Everyone slumped over, boils, not good. Maybe dying.
Sounds like it might be some sort of disease.
Yep. I use my neural interface to give healer like a printout of what I remember.
Ooh,
Give him, yeah.
that's smart. I like that.
Then I just completely shift focus to what's going on.
Hmm.
I-
Wolf, sorry, I don't mean to keep trying to interrupt you.
Good.
here? Go ahead.
Following my perception about this like magnetic pull that's occurring on us and affecting our electronics, is there any sort of role I can make to determine if electronics that are powered on are being pulled with more force than electronics that are powered off?
I like where your mind's at. Give me a reason engineering. Difficulty of 1.
No focuses. Well, geology does deal with magnetics.
I'll allow it.
Love it.
That's not great.
Unfortunately, you have
At
no
least,
idea.
at least no critical failure. I mean,
Ooh, uh-oh. Blau just redeemed a threat. Blau, you are a monster.
What?
You are a monster. An absolute friggin' monster. Of course, he says Fiery MT beats me to it. So, with this, Star Trek Judges, I get +1 threat to be used against you guys. And you know what I am going to do? I am actually going to give this to you. Even though you rolled a failure, I'm going to use my threat to give you a bit of information. You do identify that it is definitely some sort of magnetic gravitational pull, but it's kind of a mixture of both like it almost seems like a little bit of a singularity that's like pulling everything in, but it is also focused on the metal. And you realize that the flashing of those lights are probably power fluctuations because the power is being drained out of all of those lights. And as you're looking out the window and the ship's kind of doing this weird twirly thing, like you see, and everyone's like this, like TNG style, not TNG, but like the original series, OTS, like, whoa,
Yes.
they're being thrown around and all that good stuff. But as this is all happening, all right, you realize that, yes, it is powered on systems that are being drawn in. So the threat, though, is that since you are a synthetic life, you are starting to feel a pull. And as you go to maybe touch the console, you feel your hand go ka-thunk to the wall. And you're kind of stuck there in this moment.
Reno passed information to me through whatever link.
Yeah.
Right. By my perception of the events that Reno observed, would Reno have had any control in the situation that he was in, or that she was in?
He did not. She did not.
No.
They did not.
They.
They did not.
Yeah. Okay.
simply was like seeing it. They had gotten connected but had no control. They were not lucid dreaming.
How are we? Are we within the moon's natural gravity at this
Yes.
point in time?
Absolutely. You are like 30 seconds from like slamming into the surface of the moon.
Great.
Hmm.
I'd like to make a stupid recommendation to my crew members under the premise that, trust me, I ran the calculations.
Brace for impact.
As I'm like pinned to the walls, it would seem that the magnetic fields of the base are pulling our ship closer, and it seems that it is affecting mostly metal objects. Perhaps it would be beneficial to your chances for survival if you were to evacuate the ship prior to landing.
Do we have transporter power, DM?
You do not. The ship's power is at about 15%. It's not enough power to do
It's
that.
not enough power.
Oh, Judas Goat just gave you guys an extra momentum. +1 momentum to the pool. You may add it. Hey, Rob.
Ayo.
There we go. There we go. Look at Judas Goat coming in to save the day. Love it.
How do I add in momentum?
You are gonna go hover over the blue, and you're gonna go click deal.
Or
Deal to take
draw.
it. Or draw.
Draw,
Excuse me,
I
draw. Yeah.
Oh,
And then just
draw.
okay.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah, so Maric is actually going to like holler over his shoulder. We don't have time to get into Evo suits. Transporters are down. There's nothing we can do.
Quick question. Do we have enough power to use the deflector dish to maybe send off like a pulse or from outwards from the ship to maybe counteract the magnetic pull?
It would have to be timed very precisely.
Yes. But that will use the last remaining bit of power, and the ship will be completely without power.
I mean, even if it's without power.
If it's our power that's drawing us in, why don't we just shut down all systems? I can maneuver on chemical thrusters.
We would still be pulled because Hilo over here would be the thing being pulled from the inside.
Impact to the surface in 15, 14, 13.
Can Reno try and check if there's enough, if there's any way for them to operate the transporters once to get everyone off board?
You know what? It would take some doing.
Mm-hmm.
It would take probably taking like all power, like life support, engines, everything, putting it into the transporter. And if you mess it up, this will be the shortest one shot that I've ever run. All right.
Okay.
Throw it out there. All right.
I would. I would guess that would also be an engineering check, most likely.
So
yes.
Transporters are actually
They're engineering.
They are engineering. Forgive me. You're right.
And I have a focus.
Yes.
He does have a focus. As the android on board, would I be able to determine which of these two ideas has a higher chance of success by running the calculations?
Like either
you may assist.
Okay.
You will come to the conclusion that the transporter is the better idea, because if you crash and the ship's without power and then the window breaks, you'll just die in the vacuum of space. That's not a good way to go, right? You'll die, right? It'll be bad. I mean, hey, short. It's not my channel points, Ben. This is what it is, man. You did it. I mean, it's what it is.
I think we should make Koloff make the final call.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was actually going to have Koloff use his advisor talent and just send out, shut down all not necessary or all unnecessary. No.
Shut off all systems.
Shut down power to all systems. Reroute directly to the transporters. Let's save as many people as we can.
I love it. All right,
okay.
And Healer. So everyone's going to be able to assist A-Rob on this. Everyone's going to be able to assist A-Rob. You do have 3 momentum right now. A-Rob, this transporter check is going to be not easy. All right? Okay. It is going to be a difficulty 5. Okay? Turbulence, low power, things are crazy. Hear me out. However, every one of your crew members will get a chance to assist, and you do have 3 momentum. So I've got faith in you, A-Rob.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
this-
You get a reroll.
And you get a reroll because yes, he's doing that. So it's great. So I'm just saying this is the first moment in A-Rob's history where he does some crazy engineering. This is the moment. Don't mess it up. Don't mess it up. This is your moment. No pressure. All right? No pressure,
Okay.
man.
What would it be? Is it control engineering?
Control engineering.
I'm guessing.
Correct. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Control engineering.
Difficulty 5. I would like everyone to assist first. Okay. So healer.
But
Go ahead.
I would use just to be on the safe side. Is everyone okay if I use the 3 momentum that we have for 2 extra dice?
No, don't do
Great.
that because they might live. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. No. So okay, so just to go, you are going to be making the primary roll, A-Rob. You're going to do control engineering. Difficulty that we're looking for is a 5. Healer, you may assist with a reason science. Okay, reason science. Zachary, if you want to assist, you may do so with a reason science. Kaloth, you'll be doing a presence command because you're doing the advisor. Okay, presence command. And then Merrick, do you want to assist as well?
I might as well.
Okay, yeah. How would
Daring
you like-
engineering.
I like daring engineering. I love it. Absolutely.
And so
Absolutely.
is that a 2d20?
And actually, I did say control engineering.
No.
It's actually daring engineering, A-Rob. I apologize. It's daring engineering for this.
This is
Daring
one
engineering.
for everybody who's
Everybody that's
assisting
assisting
only does
rolls
one.
We're going to do those first to see how many assistances you get, and then you're going to make your primary roll, A-Rob.
Daring.
That's 1.
Okay.
Love it.
My turn.
Yep. Reno.
2.
That's 2. We're looking good.
Reason science.
Yep.
I would like to use my determination to add a bonus dice that is a 1.
That is
You
2
can't
more
do that for assists.
You can't do it for
though.
assist. You're right. You're right.
Oh.
You cannot. Not for your assist. You're right. You're absolutely right. So that's 2.
Would
So
I
make
be
a roll
able
check.
to inspiration reroll if I do bad?
No, not on assist. Just go with it. Just go
Alright,
with it.
cool.
You're gonna be fine. I have faith in you.
2d20?
We're at 2.
Just 1d20. You're
Just
assisting.
1d20.
Oh, okay. Shit, I need to redo this.
You're good, baby bird. Don't worry about it. It's your first time. You're playing the system. We're learning. I haven't played this system in a couple weeks, couple months actually. My brain's a little frazzled.
Applicable focus.
You tell me.
Physics.
Focus.
Physics, I'll allow it.
Yeah.
Boom. That's 3.
There we go.
We're
Okay.
looking good.
Um,
We're looking good.
can I get another team dynamics or composure? For
Absolutely.
This?
Team
Okay.
dynamics, composure, the whole king caboodle. The most
You're coordinating the efforts of all the various
You're
different
doing great.
departments that are.
over there. Lower power systems. Run the calculations. That's
Wait,
4.
no shot. We do this on a clean sweep with no momentum.
That's 4. All right. And
Should-
good old A-Rob's rolling 4 dice. So take it away, A-Rob. This is your first moment in live in action. That crazy A-Rob mechanics. If you get like 4 threats, I'm gonna be so happy. Oh! Oh, no! What? He does get a reroll. He does get a reroll. He does get a reroll. He does get the reroll. He does get the reroll. Let it go.
Confirm
Let
that
it go.
complication.
All right,
So,
we gotta get rid of that
daring-
complication.
Daring.
Daring engineering, yep. Reroll
1d20,
that. Yep. Reroll the
focus, boom.
complication. All right. All right. So to go back to this, what we see here is everyone working in unison. We've got Reno over there running the atmospheric calculations. We've got Healer running the calculations on the probability of success. And just kind of inspiring people by being like, oh, this should work. There's a 13.5% chance versus a 12.25% chance that we'll die. That's great. Cloth's over there just being stoic and awesome. Merrick is over there just doing his best to try and make sure all the power is subbed in. And A-Rob, in classic A-Rob tradition in the future, manages to get everyone's comm badges locked in into the pattern buffer. You swipe your fingers up to energize, and there is that blue sort of shimmering whew. And as you are disappearing, you see the ground, you see the surface of the moon getting closer and closer and closer, and the last things you all barely hear is your ship slamming, glass shattering, metal tearing, and then you all arrive in the entry lobby of the moon base. And it says The Luna Spa. Come to the dark side to get rid of your dark side. There it is. And
Hey,
as
Rob, I
you
have a confession to make.
Uh,
I lied about my calculations for the sake of crew morale. We only had half a percentage of chance for success.
Great. Great, yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me for a second, and he just goes to the closest
trash can.
bin trash can and
I believe that is a panic response.
Yeah.
no, really?
Koloff turns to healer. Just healer. Where's the nearest area that should have envirosuits?
So,
Okay.
2 quick things, if I may, describe the scene before you. You are standing in an entrance lobby. You can see that there is a long hallway that leads out to what appears to be a large kind of shuttle bay where ships can dock. There's atmosphere. And you're standing, literally think of like a hotel lobby, is where you guys are standing. And as you're looking around, everything looks perfectly pristine and in order. There's a fountain going. The counters are clean. There are no bodies. There are no sick people. But there is no one on board or inside of, or at least in the present area of the moon base.
I would like to
three
check.
locations. Let me finish. There are 3 locations that you can travel. There's right, there's left, and there's back out to the shuttle bay. All right, where the hangar, as it were. Healer, you had a question. You wanted to check something.
I would like to compare what I'm currently seeing with the images that Reno had shared with me.
You are seeing the same areas that he saw, minus the people, minus the knocked over plants, minus the knocked over, and destroyed consoles. There was ichor, there was vomit on the floor. Like, people were like not doing well. There were boils and pus and whatnot. It looked like a terrible, terrible like outbreak.
I mean,
vicious disease.
There is vomit on the floor again.
There's more than just
I believe that was
arrows.
in a potted
Did
plant.
you not make it to the trash barrel? That's hilarious.
I missed.
Yeah. Oh,
he was holding
Oh,
on to it.
God.
He just
gross.
Um,
Gross.
This is rather strange. There should be dead bodies here, and there are none. Something must be wrong.
Can Reno take out
There's
her
a distinct lack of dead bodies here.
Reno takes out the tricorder and starts like scanning the area. I'm gonna just like look for life signs or any like biological materials that shouldn't be here.
And I will have been doing the same.
So I'm gonna give this one to you, Reno. All right. I'm gonna have you roll for it. I want you to roll a control science to see if you can identify kind of what's going on. But you are gonna be picking up a non-linear resonating distortion field. So basically, what you realize, Reno, is what you are seeing is an impression. It's not actually what is happening. Something is messing with your holographic vision and likely simultaneously messing with everyone else's vision. So you are simply seeing what someone wants you to see. This is a difficulty 0. I want to get you guys a little bit more momentum. You do have 1 momentum right now because you did get 6 successes on that last check.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Computers are applicable focus.
Yes, I will allow that. Absolutely.
Well, while he's doing that, can I
2 more. You get 3 momentum. Go ahead, healer.
While he's doing that, I would like to be making a scan with my tricorder to try to pick up any information about infectious diseases that are here.
Love where your mind's at. Give me a control medicine. Difficulty of also 0. I'm gonna try to get you guys momentumed up because you're gonna need it to survive the lunar base.
While
Ooh, success but a complication. You get 2 momentum, but there is a complication. Here's how we're going to play this complication. You pick up something in the air. There is an unknown, small, bacteria-sized. It is everywhere. It is too late. It has permeated your systems. Everyone is probably at this point infected. It is everywhere. You have never, in all of your research, all of the data, all of the books that you've been able to absorb because you're an android and can just read forever, right? You've never seen anything quite like this. Never seen anything quite like this. You realize this is some sort of ionic life form, all right? It's made of ions, made of atoms, but the atoms and the ions that it is made of seem to be of some kind of different frequency, all right? There's some sort of different frequency. And what I mean by that is they're probably not from this universe. It's like if you were to take a picture, place cellophane over it, you can still kind of make out the picture, you can see it, but it's blurry and it's slightly off, all right? It's like an impressionist painting. It reminds you of some sort of bacteria that you've seen, some sort of disease that you've seen and you've actually worked with. You know that there are solutions for, but like the sequences, the DNA chains of it, they're just off, and you cannot quite make out why. Does that make sense? Hopefully it doesn't, because that's the point.
It makes some sense. I'd like to share this information with the party, first and foremost, placing an emphasis on that I believe that we all may have been exposed, because that seems a little bit relevant. And I'm just personally wondering, because I'm not entirely sure how everything here works, but my polyalloy construction, I don't need air, I don't need any of that stuff. Do I believe that I have also been infected in a meaningful way?
So,
or I'm uncertain.
With that success, what you realize is that this bacteria that is airborne, it is over every surface. It is as though there is like a film of it over everything. It is trying to permeate, it's trying to penetrate your skin, your surface, your body, as it were, but it seems confused by what it's interacting with, if bacteria could be confused. And I'm actually going to give you something here. There is almost a kind of probing-like intelligence as you are watching it. And perhaps you are scanning yourself, and you can see it sort of like a swarm of it kind of like moves up, goes up to your eye, gets confused, moves back, tries to go up your nose, comes out. It doesn't know what to do with you. Similarly, it's doing the same thing to Reno. However, it gets to his little mobile emitter, and it starts to just kind of settle over it. And Reno flickers for a second, but then seems completely fine. Continue.
Am I fine?
We'll find out.
That's the question of the day, isn't it?
All right. Well, if we're already if the likelihood is that at least those biological of us are infected, we're gonna have to see if we can find the medical bay and determine the exact source
and what exactly it is and what it does,
and what the source of that bizarre magnetometric gravitational field we flew right into is. Hey, healer, he sort of strokes his beard. I don't know the first thing about whatever it is that you were just talking about, but is it possible that these microorganisms were producing that field?
These organisms behave very strangely, as if they have some sort of intelligence. Additionally, they operate at a different sort of frequency than I would be used to seeing in this universe. Anything could be possible.
Now that's why our immune system can't fight it off then, because it's out of phase with our reality.
That would be logical, yes. I would need more samples in order to get a better understanding of this. Maybe there are some survivors throughout the ship that have not yet fallen victim to this.
Did I find
throughout
any...
the ship, throughout the base? Sorry.
Did I find any life signs throughout the ship when I was scanning my tricorder?
Phenomenal question. No. None.
I'm
not a soul.
Seeing any life signs. I think it's
the three that are of flesh and blood. You're starting to feel very hot, and you can see the two the synthetic and the hologram, you guys can see that they're starting to sweat. It's feel very warm.
Oh, you seem to be perspiring. Are you okay?
He just goes, whatever it is, I think it's working pretty fast. And I look over at Koloth and Merrick. I don't know about you, but I don't feel so good.
I would.
No, my body feels as if I've been in the middle of combat or sparring training for hours. I suggest that we move swiftly and efficiently to prolong our movements, as it were.
Yeah, and you have, what, 2 stomachs there, Koloth? I don't envy you that.
Let's make our
Is
way
it-
to the medical bay.
Is it affecting us, each of us, differently because we are all different races?
Yeah, I would. I was.
That's
gonna say, I'd
what's
like to make a scan.
interesting. No. As you scan them, Healer, temperatures have each become the same. They're all at 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Just
Okay.
right at 100. Not 100.1, not 99.9, 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Each and every one of them is the same. All right? Now, if I'm not mistaken, and this is my Star Trek lore getting a little wibbly wobbly, don't Klingons run a little bit hotter?
Yes. Yeah, they do.
Okay. Cloth, you feel cold. You're not sweating, actually. You feel cold, but you are at exactly 100 degrees Fahrenheit is where your temperature's at. The other two feel a bit warm.
Could
Very
I maybe use my tricorder to, or was it determined in the other scans? Is there any kind of technological component to the virus?
I made a mistake by
Bacteria.
Googling. I made a
Bacteria.
mistake. I made a mistake. I Googled Klingons run hot, question mark. No.
You've made a terrible mistake.
I made-
Star Trek is
I'm
a
on
fandom
a
that has
list.
existed for a long time, and you will find dark things on the internet.
I'm
Dark
on a
things.
list
That was
now.
your first
Alright.
mistake, Zachary. But I love where your mind's at. All right. A-Rob, now you're thinking with angles. That's the A-Rob I know and love. A-Rob, I would like you to roll an insight using some of the data that Healer, I assume, has probably shared with you, showing you what's going on. I'd like you to roll an reason engineering, difficulty of 2 for us, please.
Inside engineering difficulty of 2. I'm
Yes,
going to use
Healer.
one
Can
momentum.
I assist?
Yes.
Because I would like to make the observation that this infection seems to be impacting people without
Care for their biologics.
without care for their biological conditions. It's affecting everyone in the exact same way, so it cannot be considering biology.
You said inside engineering?
Yes, insight engineering. Reason
Reason engineering.
Yep.
Would I have a focus? My
What are your
focus
focuses?
is
Your foci.
power systems, warp field dynamics, computers, transporters and replicators, and composure.
I'm going to give you computers. I'm going to give you computers, all right? Healer, I'd like you to roll a reason medicine. You're just looking to rolling 1 die because you're assisting. And difficulty on this is a 2. Oh, there's the A-Rob we know and love. Baby,
Do
he's
you
back.
get focuses when assisting? Or no?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, you do.
may
Infectious
I
diseases you'd have.
May I assist with emergency medicine?
Ooh, you know what? Yes. But I will just pocket that complication as a couple of threat for myself. I'll use that later.
So basically, I already passed the check and I just get the momentum back I spent.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Let's see here. Reason medicine?
Yeah.
Okay. Nah.
Hey, Rob. What is interesting, and you're actually able to collaborate with Healer. You are able to collaborate with Healer and realize that the reason he is having trouble analyzing the DNA is as you get deep down to almost an atomic level, you realize that it's not DNA, it's code. Bunches of zeros and ones that have been stringed together to form DNA strands.
Yeah, I look while I look at my tricorder, I look up at Healer. Healer, that is not DNA, that is code.
So it is very literally a virus.
It seems that way.
But masquerading as bacteria.
Masquerading
as bacteria.
mass.
And in the wise words of myself, Only those that are listening will hear this. Dun dun dun! I did it. I just played it because I love my soundboard, but I digress. All right, I'm done with that. No more of that.
Such a nerd.
I'm a nerd.
Well, it might be possible if we, that I myself, due to my hologram nature, I might be able to make an interface and talk to this entity.
Well, that seems like a prime way to get yourself infected. If you want
Yes.
to ready.
Prime.
There are
wait, so-
backups of me located in Jupiter Lab.
So
But they're not you.
Reno exists here in this, and this is me trying to understand holograms out of character, because I'm sure in character I would understand.
Right.
You are here physically with us. You are
Yes.
here because you are interfaced with another location. Is that correct?
No, my program isn't wholly integrated into the mobile emitter, I believe.
Yep.
So your program is in the mobile emitter. There is a backup copy that would have all of your knowledge up until the point you went into the mobile emitter, but it is not you. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Right.
Yeah.
I would have done that like right before we left, though, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So the point there being is, if this infection gets to Reno, this infection would not spread to
The prime.
Starfleet base or to your
Probably
any-
not, but who knows? Weird space shit.
I don't, but well, I'm just trying to figure out if it's a
Yeah.
probability.
Unlikely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, there seems to be some sort of field that's blocking communication in and out. I mean, you're basically you're being railroaded, as if we could say.
Oh man, I want to go fight Klingon.
So
There's one right there.
I punch call
While,
off.
yeah, while I think we're still standing in the lobby, right?
Correct.
Yes. Oh, we're making our way to the med lab.
Yeah. We're standing there like we could go left and right, correct?
Left, right,
Left,
or
left,
back,
right, and
out,
back.
or back
Left,
out.
right, back.
Yeah.
I look at Koloth. So Koloth, since you like to take charge, which way?
Cadet Reno just looks over at the mall map board. You are here.
I was gonna say, we
I
could
was
make
about
one
to say, like, there
based
should
off
be
of what
something
Reno
like,
saw, we
hey,
know where things are.
Down
if you,
to the
if you
right,
feel sick,
To
whatever.
the right, there is a medical bay. For if you get too much sun from their sun emitters that like reflect light from the light side of the moon. I don't know.
Yep.
We're making shit up as we go. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
I mean, they have lakes and cities on the moon.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
Don't worry about
yeah,
it.
of course it is.
Tycho City, New Berlin,
Yeah,
Lake
we're good.
Armstrong. It's all
Yeah,
fine.
It's all good. It's all good.
So we're heading right to the med bay.
Yeah, perfect. So as you start heading down the med bay, who is the last? Who is the last to last in marching order?
I think that would be me.
Excellent, Marek. As you are turning to follow everyone else, you get a quick glimpse of the reception desk, and you could swear for a moment, Marek, that what just happened? That you see the most beautiful Orion girl that you've ever seen in your entire life, like plugging some information into the computer, and then she kind of like sees you for a second, and then she's gone.
He blinks, shakes his head, and he's going to draw his tricorder in one hand and his probably like his Type 1 phaser that's easily concealable in the other, and scan the region where she was located, looking for abnormal energy signatures of any kind.
I'll give this one to you. You're picking up a slightly elevated heat signature, but it's quickly fading. That was probably just standing where you think you saw her. So the ambient air is a little bit warmer.
Cadet Glenn, you have stopped moving. It is important
Immediately
that we-
thereafter, he's going to set his phaser to wide field, stun, point it in that general direction, and fire.
I love it. So as he fires so you just all are walking down the hallway towards medical. He turns, wide beam phaser goes out, and you hear this and this Orion appears out of thin air, collapsing to the floor and rubbing her shoulder like, what the fudge is wrong with you? That hurt. Ow. Oh, it burns so bad. Oh, ow. Why would you do that? That was ow. And she's just like rubbing it, just going,
Well, honestly, I thought I was hallucinating from the fever, so I didn't think that was going to do anything.
Well, you were hallucinating, and she taps something on her chest and disappears again.
Try her again. Come on.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
should
he fires
tap her
again.
Do any
You
of us
hear
see this?
you hear this like tick 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 tick. God damn it! Boom! And then collapses again and appears in front of you again, and she's just like, you like hit her in the knee or something, but she's not stunned for whatever reason, and she's like, fine, 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 fine. I give up. Okay, you caught me. Okay, Federation. Woo! All right, take me to prison or whatever. Wait, you don't look like security. You look like
I mean, I'm a security cadet. It's close.
that's barely even in Starfleet. Who the hell are you guys? What are you doing here?
Do we see this person now?
So everyone sees her. She has like blue dyed hair. It's pulled back into like a high ponytail. She's wearing Orion pirate, like classic pirate Orion stuff. She's got like phaser on her hip, like a sword on her back. Kind of almost looks like a barbarian, or like a roguish barbarian type kind of thing. And she's like, "What the hell are you doing here?"
I look at her. What are we doing?
We experienced
You're-
an unscheduled teleportation event.
You're on the dark side of the moon, right next to Earth. Why
Yeah.
are you surprised to see Starfleet here?
But I was here on vacation, all right? And then everything got weird, and then people started getting sick, and then I was just trying to unlock a ship so I could leave, because this has not been relaxing, okay? This has not been relaxing. I was promised rest, relaxation, and getting rid of my dark thoughts. And now I have nothing but stress and anti-relaxation, and well, my thoughts aren't really dark, so I guess it worked, but I'm going to get a refund. I will get a refund.
I would like to scan her.
Bull
Please.
crap. Go ahead. You may scan her.
I'd just like to scan her to see if she is infected.
Yeah.
And if she is not infected and presenting with symptoms, I would like to see how the infection is. All right, we'll call it the infection. This virus is reacting to her body.
Sure. Absolutely. Absolutely.
If she's not infected, we're immediately kidnapping her and using
You!
her as a science
Yeah.
You! Come with us! Ah!
Pardon me. We're going to have to kidnap you against your will to use you to produce an antidote.
No wonder the Orion
have
say
your
Starfleet.
consent.
You guys are monsters. Ah!
It does not matter.
I love it. All right.
what am I rolling?
You would just be rolling a controlled medicine to activate your mental
I was just thinking, healers just standing there saying, "We're going to kidnap you. Resistance is futile."
Difficulty was 2. So what's interesting is she seems to have some sort of like slightly malfunctioning cloaking field because she just got phasered twice.
Mhm.
So she's having a bit of a rough day, and it seems to be affecting. There's like a little device on her hip that's kind of like sparking a little bit, and it seems to be blocking your scans. So you're not sure if she's infected or not. But she is looking a very annoyed Valley High girl kind of right now, like Valley High School kind of girl. This is the expression she has. Her arms are crossed, and she's just staring at all of you, and she goes, "My mother was right. My mother was right about Starfleet. Rude, cads, no gentlemen
Well,
whatsoever."
to be fair, you were planning on stealing one of our shuttlecraft.
I wasn't gonna steal it. I was gonna borrow it and then
And how did
probably
you
give
intend on
it back.
So-
Maybe I don't know. It's just, I mean, there's no.
So-
Is it really stealing though? Like if no one else wanted it. Everyone else was all weird and boily or
So
whatever. It's stupid.
let me get this straight.
Yeah, you get it
were
straight.
go-
Rude
you were
man.
gonna steal a shuttlecraft, borrow, whatever, and possibly carry a virus that has infected a lot of people.
It's a
on the
legitimate
station
salvage. Is what it is.
to somewhere else,
What?
possibly infecting more people.
No, I'm not infected.
How do you know you're not?
Are you
infected?
sure?
I don't know. I feel fine. What if you guys are infected? What if me standing here is infecting me?
I am infected.
What do you think about that, Mr. So-called Starfleets? That's
Could it be
barely even
possible?
Starfleet.
And this is me talking
Stupid.
to Rob.
Yeah.
To Arab.
Oh,
could it
now
be
they're talking like I'm
possible-
not even here. Fucking rude. Terrible.
Could it be possible that the device on their hip that is preventing our scans could also be preventing the bacteria from passing onto their skin?
Possibly.
So you watch as the Orion, as you guys are discussing, moves over, and like there's a couple of like nice looking fixtures, and she has a tool out, and she's like trying to pry it off the wall. Like she's just like, what?
What are you doing?
Nothing. She puts her tool
Why are-
away.
I'd say Koloth would probably just walk up to her and just be like, currently, this moon base is under quarantine.
Hey, big dog, I just want to be really real with you. I'm not interested, but I appreciate it. I'm complimented.
I don't care what you're interested in or not. I'm not interested in you.
Well, see, now that's just rude.
I'm telling you that this base is currently under quarantine.
Oh.
Nobody leaves. Nobody enters.
Whoa. No one said anything to me about quarantine, or whatever the hell you just said. No one said anything about that. And also, as Orion, we're all about freedom and running around and exploring the stars. Take everything, give nothing back. It's a great old Earth movie that I actually watched, and one of the things.
Would you like to be able to keep that freedom?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That sounds great.
Then I would highly suggest you work with us so that we can all get out of here.
Okay. All right. Here's the thing. Okay. I'm not really a work with others type of gal. I kind of like to do my own thing.
We'll pay you.
More of a free. All right.
Just shrugs and starts walking to the med
Okay.
bay.
What are we doing? Where are we going? Let's get this job done so I can get paid.
Med bay.
Nice. All right. Oh, the med bay.
Just hands her like a penny or something. Like, you got paid.
I lean over to Koloth and say, I mean, we never really promised her what we're gonna pay her.
She's not a good pirate. Yeah.
So we go to medbay with our +1.
Yep. So she's just like walking in front of you, like super, just like and you're walking down. And who's in the front of the line? Who's leading the way?
Koloth is
going
probably
the
the closest
to
to her.
medbay.
Right.
It could be me.
All right. So
Medbay.
Healer and Koloth are in the front, and she looks over at Healer, and she's like, weird. Looks over at Koloth, kind of weird, but also intriguing. By the way, I'm Shoshana. Nice to meet you. And she like extends her hand.
Could you say that name again for me, please?
Shahana. Shihnaa. Shahana.
Shahana, it is a pleasure to meet you.
Not talking to the weird person. You, sir. She points at Koloth.
Koloth.
Very nice to meet you.
Yes, it's a pleasure.
And as you, do you go to shake her hand?
I do not.
I was gonna slap the shit out of his arm if he did.
And I'm just like, it's probably best if we limit contact during a.
Slowly retracts the hand. Also, simultaneously, slowly takes her hand off of your tricorder that she was going to try and steal.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, sticky fingers runs in the family. I blame my mom.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a product of my environment. But eventually, you do come. You do come. And as she's walking down, she turns over to the android, and she's like narrow-eyed, staring at you for like the 3 minutes you're walking down. And she just had this interaction, and she goes, "Okay, what are you?"
I am an android.
What's an android?
Some people may be familiar with other
Is it-
androids,
Is it
such
like
as
contagious?
Lieutenant Commander Data.
Like, are you the disease? Wait, is
No,
he the
I'm
reason
not.
that we're quarantined?
No, the quarantine happened prior to us arriving by accident.
We're Conan. We're Conan.
Well,
We're
the
Conan.
word you may
We're
be looking for
Conan.
is quarantined.
We're stuck in the brig.
Oh, sucks.
And no, I am not.
Why would
the
you do that
cause
to
of this
us?
disease?
We are all stuck in the brig.
I walk past the discussion and say he's a robot.
Oh, I just say robot. People make
Calling me
things
a
so
robot
complicated.
is awfully reductive.
But it's the easiest explanation.
And she just
It
starts
may be.
walking again. So eventually you come to the medical bay. And of all of the long hallway you've been walking down, slightly curved, imagine like a large circular spherical kind of base, like a big dome. You can see the space up above. It's got those like crisscross kind of like arches, and it's just a big open area as you're walking down the hall. But as you get to the medical bay, everything along the route that you've been walking has been pristine, well put together, taken care of. As soon as you get to the medical bay, though, that pristine, well manicured, freshly cleaned look changes. The medical bay looks as though it has been completely ransacked. There are phaser marks, burn marks. It looks like a battle took place here. Smashed tricorders, smashed
Hyposprays.
injectors, hyposprays, glass has been shattered, cabinets ripped apart, there's substances all over the floor, the replicator has been blown out. I mean, it looks like a bomb went off inside of the medical bay.
While everyone else explores this room, I would like to immediately begin taking inventory of what is available and what I can salvage.
Varick?
I would like to scan this region to determine what actual weapons were used here and if the signals are comprehensible, and then compare that to the hallways through which we traveled, trying to filter out that interference field, because you said that in the first room in which we arrived, what we were perceiving was an illusion. And I'd like to discern whether the pristine hallways that we encountered are just a continuation of that illusion.
Brilliant. Healer, you start taking an inventory. You're able to find 3 hyposprays that you can use at some point. All right. And you can modify them to do what you want. So just kind of add 3 hyposprays to your inventory. Marek, you realize that there was a device that went off in here. It was some sort of bomb, a grenade or something like that. And I'm going to have you roll a insight security. See if you can determine the origin with your tricorder.
What's the difficulty there?
Difficulty of 2.
Can Koloth attempt to bring up, access any of the functioning computers or anything like that and see if he can bring up security cams?
Absolutely, you can bring up cams.
I'll assist. Sorry, go
ahead. Normally in Star Trek sickbays, isn't there an option to disinfect the entire sickbay?
Correct.
Can I try to do that?
Yes.
That would sterilize us, so maybe just a compartment.
Yeah. You could. However, all of the computers in this area smashed to bits. Destroyed.
Okay.
Everything has been destroyed. However, there was a couple of things that happened. I had a bunch of requests. Zachary, what did you want to do again?
Oh, I was just, the Koloth's got that.
Okay.
Can I see if this, do I know if the moon base is outfitted with a holographic system in the med bay?
It is. Loth,
Ooh.
what did you want to do again?
I wanted to attempt to access the security recordings.
Okay. Cannot do that. Computers are busted. All right. But I like where your mind's at. Eustace wanted to... No, Marek wanted to determine what happened here specifically, right?
2 things.
Yes.
Energy signatures of the weapons that went off here.
Brilliant.
So if I can determine who was here.
Yep.
And secondly, filter out the interference field that you talked about in the first room.
Yes.
To determine whether the rest of the hallways were damaged and that pristine facade was just that, an illusion.
Absolutely. See, this is now we're thinking with angles. Go ahead, Marek.
So you said it was a difficulty
2.
2. Would anyone mind if I bought an extra die?
You have 5 momentum.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Then I think I'll buy 2 there. Applicable focus, street smarts, as in I'd be familiar with the various different kinds of weapons that signatures that other races use.
Sure. Jesus.
Oh my god.
Hey.
So interestingly enough, there was an Orion disruption grenade that went off in here. And there are signs of Orion blaster marks, like disruptors, all over this room. And what is maybe disconcerting is that each of the computers shows that an Orion blew them to, like an Orion weapon blew them to all fuck. And your friend, your new friend, the Orion over there, Shoshana, it's just a...
I would like to give you 1 threat to use my well-informed talent.
Love it.
That will allow me to ask you 2 questions that come from underworld connections or rumors and contact information that he has.
Okay. Now we're getting real fun. Now we're getting dandy. All right, get after it. Go for it.
What do I know, or I guess that's a little bit too broad. What position does her mother occupy in like the Orion Syndicate? Because I learned her name and she mentioned her mother.
Yes. So based on her clothing and some of the like stripes she has, her mother is a well-known Orion criminal that has been on the lam from Starfleet for the last decade and is known for... I'll give you that much. That's who you know, because that's the question you asked. I'm not going to give you anything else. That's what you know.
Okay.
She's been on land. Yeah. You have one more question.
Yeah. What kind of record does this woman actually have?
This woman?
Yes.
Squeaky clean.
That doesn't mean she
Surprisingly
hasn't done
enough.
anything. It
Doesn't
just
mean
means
she hasn't done anything, but it's squeaky clean. There is no record on her.
Is
Which is
it
interesting.
is it
Yeah.
too clean?
But what
His
I
record
will
was
also
Section 7.
give to you, what I'm also going to give to you, Varick, is that she mentioned her mother. There was no records based on your underground connections that that woman had a daughter. There's no record that that woman has a daughter. Doesn't mean that she doesn't, but there's no record that she has a daughter.
Question in between.
Yes.
The last Marek's last roll. What was the
Difficulty
puts us
2,
at
you got to
6.
bring
So-
momentum back, so you're right back to where you were.
No, we're
Ah,
at
okay.
6.
You still-
No,
you
I
bought-
spent 3 to buy 2
Oh,
dice.
you spent 3.
Okay,
For some
okay.
reason, I was registering you'd only spent 2.
You're good. You're good. You're good.
Okay,
Yes.
Yeah, because he only rolled 4
Yeah.
dice.
Just wanted to check.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
1 per die. It's 1 momentum for
Oh,
one
it's-
extra die,
it's
and then
1,
2,
2,
it increases.
And
Yeah.
3.
With that information, as he sort of puts pieces together and recognizes who she is.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, and the other question was: are the hallways actually destroyed, and is that an illusion?
Yes.
Okay. He's going to sort of sidle over to Reno
Yes.
as she is, or they are working, and just sort of subtly say, "Can you take a scan of our?" He just sort of motions his head in the Orion's direction, probably as she's trying to scrounge something to steal, well distracted or thoroughly distracted.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's
that's
trying to pry a panel off the wall and like,
Yeah.
put it in her bag.
fine. Do I know anything that he just asked questions for, or no? He did not share that.
He's actually going to share one thing.
Hmm.
Is she what she appears to be, and is she from our universe?
I had the same exact thought, dude. I love
Ba,
this.
ba, ba.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and just take a scan of her, like
Yeah, just be like, oh, I'm scanning this room, and oh, got her. I like
Yep.
that.
La 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 la. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, what's going on?
yeah, and I'll
Like, oh my god, she's not wearing clothes.
Control. That's uncomfortable and awkward. I don't want
Yeah.
that. I don't want that.
No.
Give me a control engineering difficulty of 2. At the same time, healer, you are picking up those hypo sprays, right?
Yes.
As you're picking up those hypo sprays, you kick something that you can't see. And you hear a slight groan, like a ugh. No. I think it says ugh. No, it's more like ugh. It's kind of thing, right? It's like ugh.
Ugh.
But you can't see anybody. So Reno, you get ready to make your check, okay? But I'd
what
like to
was the difficulty? Sorry.
difficulty 2. You do have 5 momentum, but healer, you've kicked someone. You can't see them. What'd you like to do?
If I reach down, can I grab them?
Yes, you feel a body. You feel someone. You can
I
feel
mean, I'm-
fabric. You can feel like a person's skin.
I'm big strong, so can I just like pick them up and see
Yeah.
if I
As
can
you
see them once I
pick
pick
them up, I want you to imagine a dog covered in dirt that you like shakes it all off. As you pick them up, there is like this dirt-like film that falls off, and you see red shoulders,
Mhm.
Federation comm badge, pointed ears. This is Lieutenant Commander Varick, and he looks fine. He looks like maybe he got a bump on the head, and he's kind of groaning like, "Ugh, oh." Oh, but he is otherwise not infected.
Okay. Everyone okay if I spend 3 momentum for 2 dice?
Absolutely.
Love that
Sure.
training for you.
All right. And if I'm successful, I'll be using untapped potential.
Ooh.
A focus of computers, good, or xenobiology or emergency medicine?
I'm gonna give
Physics?
you xenobiology.
Okay. 2 successes.
All right. Reno.
I do succeed though.
Reno. Yes, you do
Yes.
succeed. Reno.
Yeah.
Guess what?
What?
She's not from this universe. You knew it. You knew it. She is 100% not from this universe. Also, she has a hologram superimposed over herself. And the reason that it's fun that you figured this out is because you yourself are a hologram. So the woman that you're seeing is not likely the woman or person that she is. Dun
Okay.
dun dun.
2 things.
Yes.
1, I don't know. It says whatever character succeeds at a task for which they bought 1 or more additional dice with either momentum or threat, they may roll 1 Starfleet symbol. What is
So that's
that?
one challenge
One
die.
challenge die. So down at the bottom, you're going to click challenge die. You have the little bars at the bottom.
No.
Hold
You have
on.
to go to the macros toolbar.
Yeah, you got to go to the
Activate that.
macros, and you got to say show macro quick bar. You should be able to see those.
Is that in settings? Personalization and display?
It's
the
it's
3
on
little
the
bars?
top right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Under collection.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. Collection. Okay. Show macro quick bar. There we go.
There's a little challenge die. You click that, you put 1 in there. We're looking to see if you get 1. Okay.
Yeah, we get 1 momentum.
Get 1 momentum back. It's not bad.
Hey.
Alright. And then what else does this do? Okay, cool. Where's my character sheet? Okay, that's
But as Reno's
Yep.
figuring that out, you're figuring that out, Reno.
Mhm.
Lieutenant Commander Varick kind of comes to, looks at Cadet Healer, and says, Cadet Healer, why do you have your hands upon my shoulders? This is highly out of order.
Lieutenant Commander Varick, I apologize. And I let go of his shoulders. Does he vanish when I
He
let go of his shoulders?
he like settles down onto his feet and looks left and right. What is the nature of this? Pardon my language, but what in the hell is happening here?
I was hoping that you would be able to shed some light on that information, as some might say.
Kind of rubs
we-
his forehead. An Orion. An Orion with some sort of, rubs his head, and he seems a little confused and wibbly wobbly. But as he like leans slightly to the left to look past you and sees the Orion also like putting a couple of like vials like into her bag, and her eyes go wide, she goes, "Oh shit." He goes, "Please apprehend her immediately." And she's like, "Oh fuck." And it kind of like fizzles as everyone turns to her.
I shoot the hollow emitter on her, on the emitter thing on her hip.
All right. So
wanna
Healer
destroy
draws
it.
his phaser, goes to zap her. Rito draws his phaser, goes to shoot the hollow emitter. What is A-Rob doing?
Is there only 1 door out of the?
Yes,
Can I try to lock it so I can
Absolutely.
unlock it again?
absolutely.
Okay. What would it?
You could just do it, man. Like
Okay.
it's not that hard. It's a
Okay.
pretty simple task. Like you
So
just like
I-
lock the door. It slams.
I
She
just-
turns. She runs into it. Spins around. You fire. Her device goes fizzle. The other person fires. She's like ow and falls down onto her back. As she's like lying there, you see the hollow emitter go fizzle, fizzle, fizzle. Instead of a young, beautiful Orion woman, you see a still beautiful, but slightly more mature and older Orion woman. Instead of blue hair, you see she has this kind of dark, purpley black hair. And Merrick, you recognize her as not the woman she had said, but a wanted criminal known as Haran. Haran is her name. Heran. And she looks at all of you. with her narrow, angry eyes, and she says, "And I would have gotten away with it too, if it wasn't for you blasted Starfleet cadets." And long story short, you have defeated the Orion pirate who is trying to steal a bunch of stuff from this. The reason she's been so hard to capture is because she's not from this universe. And we do a little bit of a montage of you guys arresting her and taking her away. No one on the station was actually sick. It was all just this, like, manufactured disease to basically knock everyone out. There wasn't any real, like, death. There wasn't any boils or anything. But it was designed to knock everyone out so she could just loot this place because she's a pirate and that's what they do. And our final scene is all of you, the day after this, you've had your debriefing, your first real mission, walking across the stage, each of you getting your diploma, and then our final scene is you guys throwing your hats in the air, and that, my friends, is the end of our Star Trek Adventures one-shot, Star Trek Acade'OhMy. I hope you guys had fun. I had an absolute blast. This was a very interesting and silly crew. And I just want to say again to Ben, thank you so much for the point redeem. That was an absolute delight. And Healer, it was great to have you here, Hobbit. I hope you had a good time. To Zachary, one of these days, we'll get you into a long-running campaign. One of these days.
It'll happen.
Eustace, dude, it's great to play with you again. And I like that we have a canon reason, like your first crazy, like, teleporter incident. Your first crazy teleporter incident. So when we were playing, there was this moment where you got to tell the story, Rob. You got to tell the story. So the first transporter incident, please tell the story.
Yeah, so the first in the old Valhalla campaign, there was this ship overtaken, this Starfleet ship overtaken by a fungus, and it was on a collision course with our ship, and we didn't know what to do, so I basically said, went fuck it, and used the transporter platform in the engineering bay, beamed myself onto the other ship, deactivated their warp core, restarted their warp core, and then did something that we did on our ship to get rid of the fungus to the entire other ship.
Basically, I made him do a difficulty like 6 roll, and he got like 9 successes or something ridiculous. I was like, "Hey, Rob, your character." I told him. I remember telling him in game. I was like, "You're probably gonna have to make a new character." He's like, "It's fine, fuck it." He literally, I remember he said it. He was like, "Fuck it." I was gonna do it, and then like his luck that entire 30 session campaign never stopped. I'd be like, "All right, difficulty 8," and he'd be like, 12 successes. I'd be like, "How is it? It's not even possible to get that many successes. What are you doing?" It was nuts. It was crazy. We had the A-Rob engineering luck. It was good times. But
I did get demoted for that, but
you did. But I think it's okay. Yes. Yeah. But with that being said, I appreciate you all joining in for the short but hopefully enjoyable adventure. A little bit of just Star Trek Acade'OhMy. But in the meantime, as I always say at the end of every session, any final thoughts, questions, comments, or concerns before we get ready to wrap up our short little adventure?
Just one slight bit of...
It was too short.
Yeah, too short, number one.
All right.
One last bit of epilogue.
Yeah.
That Healer will go to Cloth. Cloth.
Cloth, yeah. I am now just fabric.
Fabric. And give him a small bit of gratitude, as much as an android can deliver.
Does Healer not have an emotion chip?
And just a quite bit of gratitude in simply saying that I hope that when we are put out into our posts, that I am serving alongside you.
Aww. I like that. That's really nice.
I hope I would far away from.
Hey, Rob, you are assigned to the USS Ragnar, by the way.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I was about to say. I want to know what
you are assigned to the Ragnar. Kaloth is assigned to the Intrepid. Merrick, do you stay in Starfleet or do you give up?
I think he stays in Starfleet.
All right. You're assigned to the USS Enterprise.
Ooh. Okay.
Ooh, fancy.
Oh, but the USS Enterprise in this time period is that terrible, dinky little renamed Titan.
Correct.
That's awful.
Correct. Yeah, terrible, terrible. Correct.
It's just a shit
Reno,
post.
you actually get sent off to work at
Jupiter Station?
Planitia.
Oh.
Why can't I think of the Utopia?
Utopia Planitia?
Utopia Planitia to work in their science division. And Healer, you actually get sent because of the Ragnar. That's right, Sidereal Day. And Healer, you actually get sent off to work on the moon in some of their infectious diseases science facilities for your first assignment, like on a base, which is awesome.
Can I make a quick?
Always.
If I'm going to be sent as a Ragnar as an ensign now, then this is a different timeline.
It is a different
because
timeline.
in the other one I only came there as a lieutenant commander.
Yeah, different timeline. That's right. Crazy times, man. But in the meantime, as always at the end of our session, thank you to the players for playing. I had an absolute delight. Thank you to the viewers for viewing. It was fun to have folks hanging out. Sidereal Day, one of the post the Ragnar Redux crew members, just said hello. Until next time, be well, be safe, happy gaming. You will see me back here this evening. I'll be streaming some Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition with a couple of my buddies. We formed an adventuring party, so if you're interested in some Neverwinter Nights adventures, definitely stop in. If not, enjoy your rest of your Saturdays, and happy gaming, everybody. Good night.